Okay, we're gonna take a look at understanding standard form of a linear equation in this first example. We've got Hannah. Hannah will spend $150 on music festival tickets. Reserved seat tickets cost $25 and general admission tickets cost $10. How can you represent the situation with a linear equation? So we want to identify or define our variables. So we're going to let x equal the number of reserved seat tickets. So any x that we use in the equation, we will know what it stands for, what it's representing. Our y we're going to define as the number of general admission tickets. Okay, so what do we know about the reserved seat tickets? We're told that the reserved seat tickets cost $25 each. So we're going to start our equation out by taking the cost of the ticket, $25, times the number of tickets that she's buying at that price point. In addition to that, she is buying some general admission tickets. Those tickets cost $10, so she's got $10 times every general admission ticket that she buys, and that is going to equal the total amount she's spending on the tickets, which is $150. So we are representing the situation with a linear equation right here. This is standard form. This is what standard form looks like. You have your AX plus your BY equals C. All right, part B, what information does the standard form give you that the slope-intercept form does not? Compare the slope-intercept and standard forms of this same equation to see what each part represents. So we're on our third form of a linear equation to work with. We started with slope-intercept, then point-slope, and now we're on to standard. So each of those has its benefits depending on what we're doing. And so it's just good to understand, what information can we gain from each equation. So in slope-intercept form, what we get is that y-intercept right there. In this case, what the y-intercept represents is if the x was a 0, this negative 2.5x term would go away. So if x is a 0, that means that the number of reserved seat tickets she's buying is 0, which tells us that the y, the number of general admission tickets she's buying, is 15. So that y-intercept was tell us that Hannah can buy 15 general admission tickets. I'm just going to write GA for general admission tickets. If she buys no reserved seat tickets. All right, standard form, what we can get out of standard form, we have this $150 right here. What that $150 is that tells us how much Hannah can spend. It's that total cost. So Hannah can spend $150. This is the constraint. We saw that word in our learning target, and here we're seeing it in our example. So the constraint, her restriction, she can only spend $150. She cannot spend more than that. So that is considered a constraint. All right, last question. Is it easier to find the x-intercept of the graph of the equation in part B using slope-intercept or standard form? So to find an x-intercept of a graph, that's when we let y equal to 0 and we solve for x. So let's try both of them and see which one seems easier. Slope-intercept form, we have y equals negative 2.5x plus 15. To find the x-intercept, we're going to let y equal 0. And then we're going to solve for x. Solving for x, we are going to subtract 15 from both sides first. So we get a negative 15 equals negative 2.5x. We're going to continue to solve for x by dividing by a negative 2.5. So our x-intercept is positive 6. All right, so let's try in standard form to find the x-intercept and see which one feels easier. So we have 25x plus 10y equals 150. To find the x-intercept, we're going to let the y equal 0. So we want to keep our x, 25x, plus 10 times 0 equals 150. Well, that 10 times 0, that simplifies away because that just turns into a 0. So we have 25x equals 150. Then we just solve by dividing both sides by 25. And we get that same x equals 6. So I guess at personal preference, did this feel easier to you or did this feel easier to you? We do often work with the intercepts in standard form because when we plug in a 0, we're left with a one-step equation, just dividing to get that intercept, which is pretty quick.